Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's talk, Creating Through Prayer. First, I'd like to begin this talk by saying this is sans religion and dogma. This is an invitation to talk about a universal approach to prayer that does not have to involve religion or faith. If there's any part of this talk that doesn't resonate with you, you're welcome to just take what does and let go of what doesn't. I say this because I know many of us have past associations with prayer and identifications. So I'd like to just begin by releasing that. I'd like to start with a personal story. And this story is about how I grew up in a Presbyterian household. My parents are Christian. They never forced their faith upon me. And I sometimes went to church, sometimes I didn't. I was very drawn to the idea of God and higher power, but I ultimately did not take on the Christian faith as my own, but I continued to study in religion and philosophy and spirituality. It wasn't until I began practicing yoga more deeply and started meditation that I began to have experiences of prayer that were really powerful. So I would say meditation was my access point to understanding the power of this. I call it more of a technique, like a consciousness tool, prayer. And I remember one day I was sitting in my Los Angeles bungalow, just begging for help. Yeah, I was at an impasse in my life. And I remember sitting there and I wasn't really conscious of saying, please help me. I need to know. I need guidance. And I wasn't really conscious of even praying to a God. But all of a sudden, while I was having this conversation inside of me, I had this profound experience of a divine presence come over me that I can only explain as this kind of warm golden light flowing through my energy, my body that felt so calm and unconditionally loving. And I knew in that moment that my prayer was working, that something was happening. And I felt so relieved and comforted and at peace after having experienced that, even though I didn't have the answer. I didn't know which way to go, but I felt this overwhelming sense of peace that I can only call the divine presence.